Peeps, how are you all? I hope all of you are well, my peeps. If you're not, I'm sorry to hear that. So for all you tuning in, if you haven't heard the glorious news, then let me inform you. Donald Trump, our esteemed president, and the glorious leader of the free world, is pushing back on vaccines in an effort to make America India again. In an effort to bring us back to second world status where we belong versus first world status. This is glorious news. And it's a precursor to the title, Breaking News, folks. And I got this from my colleague. From my colleague and good friend, Pavarotti. And you see in the beginning of Pavarotti's videos, Donald Trump is giving kudos to Pavarotti. They're still good buddies. Pavarotti used to be on Trump's security team. Way back when. That's how, after Pavarotti was in military intelligence, he joined Trump's security team. As a matter of fact, remember those casino managers that went down in the helicopter crash? Right before or right as there was that big scandal related to Trump's casinos and how it was a big scam and they were robbing the investors blind. And then, curiously enough, the helicopter crash of his two managers that were going to testify about this, the helicopter goes down and crashes and kills them both. That was Pavarotti. Pavarotti and Trump's security team rigged the helicopter to crash. I told you, you don't want to mess with this guy. You don't want to mess with this guy. He's a killer. I mean, I know, I am too, but he's a killer. He's a real killer. You don't want to mess with this guy. Anyway, he last night he gave me the inside scoop here. This is a precursor. This is a precursor to pardoning Bryan Kohberger. Under this rubric or aegis that this was not Kohberger's fault. It's not Bryan Kohberger's fault that he has autism. It's the fault of the pharmaceutical companies, Big Pharma. It's Big Pharma's fault. They're the ones that poured these vats of vaccines into his veins. You see it right there on the thumbnail. Look at they've got that vaccine hooked up to a vat, and that's Bryan Kohberger on the thumbnail. That's when they're putting the vats of vaccine into him. And they gave him autism. So this is not Bryan Kohberger's fault. This is the fault of Big Pharma. And so Donald Trump's is going to pardon Bryan Kohberger under this aegis or rubric that of the Big Pharma caused Bryan Kohberger's autism that led ultimately to the massacre of Kaylee Goncalves, Maddie Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. Not only that, he's strongly considering replacing Kash Patel with Bryan Kohberger as the director of the FBI, considering Bryan Kohberger's criminal justice background. This is great news. I mean, if you're a Hoberger or a pro-burger, you got to be singing with joy right now. This is great news. This is happening, folks. This is happening as we speak. This is progress. This is progress. Take that, you libtards. Take that, Dems, you commies. This is progress. Oh, and Pavarotti let me know one other thing. There's another executive order that he's going to issue. and it relates to toilets and toileting. In order to make America India again, he's going to outlaw toilets. No more manufacturing or selling of toilets, and he's going to outlaw existing toilets. For now on, people are going to be required, if they have to relieve themselves or defecate, they have to do it in the streets like they do in Mumbai in India and other cities in India, for example. So, yeah, we're going to make America India again, and we're going to harken back to those times where people used to just squat down and defecate in the streets. That makes us healthier. When you subject yourself to fecal matter day in and day out, you get it on your shoes and then on your hands, and you get it in your mouth, and it's smeared all over your body and everything you touch. That makes you healthier. Robert F. Kennedy proved that when he took a dip in that stream with his grandchildren in the polluted stream that's polluted with fecal matter. This makes you stronger. Look how strong Robert F. Kennedy is. It makes you stronger. It builds up your immune system. So this is great news, folks. Peeps, this is great news. Bryan Kohberger is going to get out. He's going to get out. He doesn't even have to wait for all this nonsense with Judge Hitler. He doesn't have to wait for Judge Hitler any longer. That whole process would take a year or two. No, this is going to happen within the year. This is going to happen, from what Pavarotti said, if not the end of this year, certainly the beginning of 2027. Because Trump right now he's got all this going on with the midterms. He said it's possible that he might introduce this like right a week before voting, so this persuades people to, vote GOP in the midterm elections, because everybody will be so happy that Bryan Kohberger is going to be pardoned. So we'll see. We'll see. But this is great. You have to admit, folks, this is great news. This is breaking news. Donald Trump is going to pardon Bryan Kohberger. This is awesome. Celebrate, baby. Celebrate. Good times. Come on. Boom, boom, boom. All right. That's it for now, folks. Well, you know what? Let's listen to a little bit of this. He's so right, because you've seen it, and I've seen it too, where they just put these Coke bottles of vaccine into these kids. I mean, they do.
Trump upending vaccines for American children. Here's what he's announcing.
Sorry, that was a bit loud.
Tonight, he's signing an executive order that says that core crucial vaccines, including for hepatitis, are no longer recommended for children, setting America back and putting lives at risk. And it seems all because of...
And this is worth the price, folks. This is worth the price. I think, wouldn't you rather see millions of children perish from these illnesses versus having autism? Because we know the vaccines cause autism, and you know that. That's the science, baby. Because all science is whether or not Donald Trump says it's so. That's science. Right? That's science. So, yeah, that trade-off is well worth it. Millions of children. And then let's not forget, it's not just children, because if the children get it, then the elderly are going to get it too, because of their, diminishing immune systems. They're going to get these illnesses too and die. So there's going to be millions of people perishing, and it's absolutely worth it. It's absolutely worth it, so there's no autism. Don't be such a Debbie Downer and say it's not worth it, okay? It is worth it. We are going to make America India again.
False belief that vaccines are tied to autism.
Decades ago, children received only a small fraction of the vaccines required today. In those times, people were much healthier, and of course,
they were a lot healthier. I mean, I remember how healthy people were before antibiotics. They were like amazingly healthy, right? They may have been dropping like flies from infectious diseases at, ages of, in their teens, when they were children, in their 20s, 30s, people dropping like flies from infectious diseases. But otherwise, they were much more healthy. Polio, other than the people that got polio, they were much more healthy. Yes, people were much more healthy. Back when the average age of longevity was 58, they were much more healthy. Much more healthy. This guy is a top-notch scientist. Listen to the science, folks.
The high rates of autism now observed did not exist.
And believe me, folks, a lot of people say, oh, they didn't exist because people didn't even know what autism was back then, so it wasn't being diagnosed. Do you believe someone would say something like that? Donald Trump has just told you that autism didn't exist then. This is from the chief scientist's mouth. And you have the audacity to say, oh, nobody even knew what autism was then, so it wasn't being diagnosed? Come on. Get real, you freaks. You commie libtards.
There's a reason for such epidemic rates of autism.
Well, there may be a reason, but it's not vaccines. Independent researchers have conducted more than 40 studies involving...
Don't be a commie, Aaron, all right? Don't be a commie. Okay, here she goes. She's going to try to deny that the vaccines that they're putting in these children's arms aren't coming from what is effectively the same size as a Coke bottle. Come on, Aaron. You're such a commie.
1,000% been exonerated. And yet, here is President Trump today.
I saw this early on, and I've seen proof of it, where they have a vaccination thing. Looks like the size of a bottle of soda.
I've seen it too. You know you all have seen it. I've seen these vaccinations the size of a Coke bottle being put into children's arms. And I've been screaming about it for years. It's despicable. It's despicable. This is what they did to Bryan Kohberger. This is what they did to Bryan Kohberger, and this is why he's behind bars right now. It wasn't his fault. He had no choice in this matter. This guy is a hero.
Poured into a little child's body.
And that's the thing, a little child's. They didn't do it to big children, though, did they? No, only to the little childs. But the big childs, they just completely skipped them over because they were too big, I guess. And that's discrimination, as far as I'm concerned. Hypocritical, commie libtards with their discrimination.
Now, that's nonsense. All of us parents know that.
It's not nonsense, you commie.
That's the size of a soda bottle. A soda bottle.
Oh, this is fake news. This is fake news. We all know that this is the size of the vaccine that they're putting in these children's arms. You know it, I know it, the American people know it, and the Indian people know it.
That's a lot. That's silly and insane, right? And by the way...
It's not silly and insane. As a matter of fact, you should be locked up for saying that. You should be hunted down and locked up and or deported for saying such a thing. Commie libtards.
Trump, when it came out to, what this is, how much? Well, this is the soda bottle, and we got actually a little syringe here just so everybody could see it. So we can just for purposes of accuracy here, my eyes aren't so good.
Look at this fake news. You're not a scientist. What do you know? She's not a scientist. She's not a scientist any more than Chris Whitcomb is an IgG expert. Sniper that he is.
But I will show you the soda bottle.
I can't take it anymore. This fake news. Oh, this just irks me when they do this to the greatest president of all time. A man who has ended 99 wars going on 100. And they have such incredible Trump derangement syndrome, they won't leave the guy alone. He's a brilliant scientist. He's a glorious leader. He can do no wrong, and yet they won't stop criticizing him. Why? Because they're commie libtards. That's why. Anyway, glorious news. Thank you, dear leader Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, the glorious leader of the free world, for pardoning Bryan Kohberger. Thank you. Finally. Let's make America India again. And I can't wait for the defecating in the street. Can you? That's going to be awesome. That's going to make us so healthy. I cannot wait. That's it for now, folks. Let me know what you think. Take care. Bye.